Hey everyone, thanks for following the article so far. And as promised, it's demo time now. So, as you saw in the article, we are trying to use a cross discipline teamwork of product, game design, UX, and UI and art teams in early pre production to bring these disciplines together to create a prototype which we can test with players and then iterate and loop back that feedback into pre production phase. Another important thing is just like we're using cross-discipline teamwork, we also need to combine different softwares. For example, I'm using Illustrator, Photoshop, After Effects, and bringing it all together in principle to build this high-fidelity prototype. Uh, so without any further wait, let me click on the Pingolo proto file, and we can see a nice loading screen. It's informing the player something's happening in the background. Uh, And we can see the main character or the protagonist of the game. It seems I'm in some kind of environment, and he's saying, "Hey, you, I'm Pingolo, and I love to fish." I can see a green moving arrow. I'm going to tap on that. The lake is freezing. Help me catch some fish. So it seems like the character is trying to ground the player in the story and create a urgency so he can ask for players' help. So I'm going to click again on the arrow. And it seems we are in some kind of onboarding or FATUI, first time user experience. And the character is telling me swipe up to match. So I'm gonna swipe up the yellow fish. And it seems, yes, I managed to do that. I got some positive feedback. I'm gonna swipe right to match. I did that. And it seems now I'm in some kind of a level map or level progression map. Let me tap around and see what all I have there. I see some locked icons. I click on them. It says level locked. Complete previous level with 2 stars. I can see some coins and it says use coins to buy boosters and new content. I can see something about the energy mechanics of the game. So I really like tooltips as a feature because they are discovery and they are tertiary gestures. They provide information on demand without being intrusive and in players' face all the time. So moving on, we can see the biggest CT on the screen is the go button, which is pulsating and asking me as a player to tap on it. I'm going to hit it. And I got a nice blur effect and I can see there's a reward screen, level 1. It seems like there are a number of fish that I need to collect to clear this level. I'm going to hit play. And now it seems we are in a gameplay level. I can see some other items. I can see a transparent bubble with a thunderbolt icon. I click it and it says zap booster, match more fish to unlock. There's a pause button and it says giving up. Are you sure you want to quit this level? You will lose all progress. So I don't want to do that. I'm going to hit resume and let's try to play around with this level. So I'm trying to match some fish here and as you can see I'm getting some feedback. Now the thing about match 3 games is the core mechanics is you have to match the similar set of tiles or fish, 3 of them together to clear them. And if you try to match fish which do not belong together or do not form a set, you get a negative feedback. And you can see that that's exactly what's happening. I'm trying to match fish, which do not belong together, and they are getting together, but then snapping back into their place. Exactly the kind of feedback that we need. So let me hit the pause button again. One more thing I want to bring up is, most of the prototypes or prototyping tools are quite linear. So what I mean by that is, they are T-type. You can go deep, but you cannot go wide. So, for example, a prototype can mostly be, linear in a way that it only allows you to go from point A to B to C, and this can really limit the scope of what you can, achieve with it. So I'm going to hit quit, and again it resets the level for me, just like it would happen in a real game. I'm going to hit go again, hit play, and this time I'm trying to match these fish in a completely different order. So I'll start from the top, and you can see that I'm doing it in a very random order, and still I'm getting the same negative feedback. So what I'm trying to say is it is possible with some ingenuity and design to reduce the linearity and make the prototype more random. So I'm gonna now match the 3 fish. I did that. Yay! I got some nifty animations. Those cleared fish got replaced by some other fish. And again, I'm trying to match the ones which do not belong together. And you can see that I'm getting the negative feedback. I'll try to match the one which belong together, and you can see that I've got some different kind of fish this time. Okay, so I'm tapping on them, nothing is happening, and there's a prompt from the character. Frozen fish tiles are hard to match. Zap. Zap them to match them. So let me click next, and it seems I've unlocked some kind of a booster. It says booster unlocked, zap. Try it out. I'm gonna hit OK. And on this screen, as you can see, I have a different layer or set of interactions and animations going on. In the forward layer or the foreground layer, you can see that there are these tiles which I'm trying to match. I'm hitting them, and you can see that nothing is happening. In the background, there's some animations happening, and there's arrow which is pointing towards that zap booster. So you can see that it is possible to create a complicated, intricate prototype which supports independent events and animations and touch points happening independently of each other at the same time, which allows you to, which gives you a lot of room to play with when building loops which are complicated or complex. So I'm going to hit the booster itself, and I get nice thunderbolt effect. Wow, it cleared the fish, it cleared the ice block, and now I think I can match these fish. I do that, and I get a level O animation. I see a lot of explosions, a confetti effect. Nice. There's a reward screen. It seems I've got some reward. Let me check what I got. So it seems like I got two set of boosters which I just kind of use in the game. There are these coins. Nice. And if I click on the stars, it tells me, if I had 1 star, it will give me 10% bonus, 2 stars, 25% bonus, and so on. So even on this screen, you can see, there are animations going on in the background, but at the same time, I can tap in the foreground elements, and they are independently supported. So that's quite nice to see. Now I'm going to hit next, and you can see that my locator pin icon or the prompt pin moved from level 1 to level 2, and I've got 3 stars. Level 1 node has turned green. Again, if I try to go ahead, it says level lock, complete previous level with 2 stars. So I'm going to hit the go button again, and it says let's try something different now. So it seems like there's still some more onboarding left. Tap on same block of fishes to pop in. Okay, should be fish. So I click on the same block of fish. So let me elaborate what's going on here. This is the Easter egg that I spoke about in my article in this prototype. So what we are going to do is we are going to set a A/B test. While in level 1 you saw that the character taught me how to swap same set of tiles to match them. Here what we're trying to do is use a different popular match-3 genre mechanics, and that is tapping instead of swapping the same set of tiles and clear them. So this way, it will be interesting to see. We are trying out 2 different mechanics for the very same feature or the input mode, and see what appeals to the player. So I'm going to hit the same set of fish, and it seems I cleared it. Good job. Let's go pop some fish. So I'm in level 2 now. I can see some requirements. I'm going to hit play. So we can see a very different kind of grid this time. It's 3x3 grid. And I'm trying to tap on, these fish. Nothing is happening. So I'm going to tap on the same block of fish. Yes, we cleared them. Again. And you can see something else is happening. This time when I hit the same block of fish, you can see some feedback animation visually going from that hit area where I've cleared the fish to the booster itself, which is now filling up. So, this is another thing we are trying to A/B test. How does the player gets to unlock the booster? Does it happen automatically after a certain number of steps? Or we give him some kind of feedback so that he can see that he is able to, unlock or fill the booster, charge the booster as a result of his own effort. And he's earned it. So let's see. That will be interesting. I'm going to tap on the same block of fish. It seems I got a bonus and I have unlocked the booster. Now even on this screen I can see we've got these ice cube fish who are hard to match. We've encountered them before. So I think what I'm going to do is quickly tap again on the booster since I have it charged. And yes, again, the thunderbolt effect. And it seems like it's cleared the level for me. Interesting. So I get the reward screen again, saying congrats. I'm going to say next. And you can see that my locator pin moved from level 2 to level 3. Let me hit go again. Thank you. End of prototype. Your participation will help us craft most fun experience for you. So, as you saw, by combining different disciplines of different departments, and by using a different combination of software, we are able to create a fairly complicated or intricate prototype, which is just not testing a standalone feature, but in fact a complete user journey, including reward movements, including the main interaction or input patterns, onboarding, unlocking a booster, and so on. The next step is, of course, to place it in a player's hand and uh, quantify the experience. Now you can see the importance of it, because the best part about this prototype is that it's been put together without writing a single line of code, just by combining different design disciplines and different softwares. Imagine the value that very early in your pre-production, you can build a prototype of this high fidelity, not only in the way it looks, but also in its flow and complexity, and able to put it in a player's hand, see how they react to it, get that feedback, loop it back into your iteration cycle, and iterate on it before even it hits production. Um, I can hear another question coming. Some of you might say, "Hey, match three games, even though they are like you managed to create a fairly complex prototype, they are still relatively easy compared to some of the other genres like midcore or hardcore." So let me remind you, I worked on a lot of casual, midcore, and hardcore games, and the company in which I work right now, especially, we are totally into hardcore gaming space, and we have managed to build some fairly complex prototypes which hold or work just as well. So I think it is possible with some ingenuity, uh, to get together all the disciplines and the softwares and build prototypes fairly rapidly without using any code and playtest it. So I think the next step is now to put it in a player's hand and see how this prototype holds together, uh, and then gather some nice feedback. So signing off for now. Cheers.